Portrayals Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye. In a menudo style in a direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel. It's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled and very much appreciative. So I'm doing this video because I was asked to do this video by a lot of different people. And I felt that if for no other reason, you know what? Let me give you my perspective on the video that I watched. Now I'm not going to sit here and respond to anything, or I'm not going to sit here and watch the video with you guys and talk about things I know or don't know, because whatever was said on that video, I can say was done out of respect, and it was done in realness and fairness, and it was very unbiased, and it was just a very great video. So there was a video dropped, I think it was yesterday, about Skip. Skip from one of the organizations, one of the big four. I tend not to mention it anymore, just out of respect for what they got going on. And because I'm not in a position to do that, right? And I shouldn't, first and foremost. But I think Skip's been put out there enough that people understand who he is, what he's about, why he does the things he does. Only he truly knows. One never knows, does one. But there was a video that was put out by a brother that did Fed Time with Skip. Now, a lot of the times you hear stories about Big Skip, and I call him Big Skip, man, out of respect. You hear a lot of stories about him, in the state system, California state system, and how he has become one of the most notorious, allegedly one of the most notorious figures for an organization. And he represents to the fullest. He has that old convict mindset. He's stuck in his ways, and that's him. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that figure, hey, man, he's thrown his life away. And I don't believe he's done that. I believe he dedicated himself to a cause, to a belief, to a group or organization, and has done what many can't or won't do, including myself, which is stick to them beliefs to the fullest and stand by what he believes in. Okay, not a lot of people are built like that. Not a lot of people are cut from the cloth that he's cut from. In fact, very, very few in this world are built like Skip. When I've heard stories about Skip, and I never had the pleasure, and I say the pleasure, of being around someone of legendary status or someone who is considered, the hierarchy, the highest of the high within his group. I've never been around them, but I've been around a lot of people that have. And when I seen this brother, man, do this video, and the way he talked about Skip, I can tell that being in Skip's presence rubbed off on him. Meaning that when you're around a real one, and I've been around several real ones in my life that were from different organizations. I did oil time, shoot time, or whatever around these guys. Their mentality, their education, what they believe in, they don't break that for anyone. Okay, there's nothing you can tell them that's going to change their mind. It's up to an individual himself what he's going to do and what he isn't going to do. Now, when it comes to Skip, there's a lot of things I'm sure that he's willing to partake in and do, and there's a lot of things he won't. But as far as people wanted me to talk about what the brother said, man, the brother was right there with Skip. Like I said, he had the honor and the privilege of doing time with them, conversing with them, seeing the guy in action. And I'm sure the stories he told were true. The legend of Skip is different. It's crazy. He's a person that's attained a level of respect by his thought process, the reason he's done things, and why. When you hear about that certain group, that organization, the first thing that comes to my mind is Skip. Always. And it's not because he's the leader or is in a position to make things happen. Whether he is or isn't, that's not to be discussed, especially on social media. That's putting his business out there. But he's definitely, so I'm not going to talk about his status within the organization or none of that. But he definitely is a real one from a convict's perspective. That's a throwback, right? When you've done time, you see different elements of men. Okay? You see guys that go into prison and they're just trying to get by. They're just trying to do their time, their little few years, and get on down the road. But you got to understand that everyone there is there for a reason. Unless you're innocent, and that's a whole different fucking can of worms, right? But if you're there because you were living that criminal lifestyle, whether you were involved in gangs, Whether you were fucking stealing cars, you were a D-boy, you were jacking people, whatever it is, you find yourself amongst the element of people you were associating with on the streets. But now it's to the next degree and the next level. Because now you're a convict. Now you're convicted of a felony. Now you're a prisoner. And now you must conduct yourself differently than you did on the streets. You can't come in with that street mentality into a California prison system and think that's going to fly, because you'll find out very quickly within the first 5 minutes it doesn't fucking work that way. And nothing you did or have done on the streets prior to that point is going to help you. In fact, it's going to hinder you if you keep that old mindset. You know, you need to let go of old mindsets and develop new. Understand that you're living within a system, and depending upon who you politic with and what you're part of, you're going to go with the flow. You're going to listen to somebody. You're going to mind somebody. Now, Skip started at a very young age. That's a fact. And I'm sure he's went through a lot of the same things a lot of people have went through, but his dedication is second to none. You know, every story that I've ever heard about him, I've never heard anything bad about Skip, period. And I remember, this is just trip out on this, when the Black Widow indictment happened, some of the names popped out to me. I remember there was they put out something that was basically pictures. I remember seeing Sir Dino on that indictment and saying, hey, I never knew he was affiliated at that level. I knew he knew people just like I knew people, but I didn't know that he was part of that. Come to find out, he really wasn't. He just got implicated in all of it because of the GUN album and all that. And he did what he did. He did his time, and he came out Cristiano, and he's Christian, and he's doing his thing. But there was other pictures that popped out to me and guys that I had heard of. And Skip was definitely one of them. And at that time, man, he had a certain status and ranking within his group, allegedly, you know. And little did I know that that would be the man to basically, you know, keep the flame lit. Now, when we talk about that organization, there's a lot of people that get a misconception. And I could sit here and give you the whole historia, the whole history of what really happened, how it was established, who established it, and all that. But then again, there's going to be people that deny that just based on, you know, they're indoctrinated a different way or they were told something different. So what I was told and what I know to be truth and fact, another person can misconstrue it as lies and a diversion tactic. But the fact is, man, you know, no matter what people say, Skip within that organization has been that one. He has always been the face and has always been the man pushing the envelope and pushing the movement. And one thing I could tell you about Skip and what that brother said, man, he said Skip is no joke. He leads by example. And not everyone in this world is born with them leadership qualities. Okay, not everyone is born. Most people, when you think about gangs or you think about organizations or groups, there's those on YouTube that are content creators that say it's all propaganda. It's all to use and utilize your own people. And it's all to put money in their pockets. It's all for this. It's all for whatever you believe in. You know, I remember as a young kid being exposed to the Norteño indoctrination, right? And the education. And going a different route than a lot of my homeboys went. A lot of my homeboys wanted to be a part of the Norteño movement because they thought it brought them some notoriety or some respect or some women or some money or some jewelry. And I didn't do anything that I did for that. That all came with it. But mine was the good fight for my gente. I was a firm and true believer that coming from an oppressed people, that if I put in my little effort and I put in my little work and I did what I did, then I would forever be recognized as from the cause as a piece of the puzzle. And for years I did it. And I wasn't disillusioned. I never was disillusioned. I started to become disillusioned with the people, not the movement. Okay? The people within the movement started to stray away from the true beliefs and what it was really about because of their own greedy and devious ways. And things like that I seen, drug usage and slandering other homeboys or, you know, removing other homeboys unjustly. These were the things that kind of set me off to say, you know what? This has become something that I don't believe in personally. And it had nothing to do with the cause, the lucha. It had nothing to do with, you know, the education that I believed in. It had more so to do with the people I was around that I didn't want to be around anymore. And so and for that reason only is the reason why I decided to do my own thing, get off where I was mad at, make a point, go out on my shield, and I ended up where I ended up. There's a lot of people that say, well, that's dropping out, that's being a piece of shit, that's being a sucker, man. And you're entitled to believe whatever you want to believe. But unless you walked in my motherfucking state boots and were on that yard at that time and knew exactly what was going on, then you'll never truly know the real story, right? So it's up to you to determine, man, where your life's going to take you within a movement and where my life's going to take me. My life has taken me to my family. It has taken me to breathing fresh air, being able to eat what I want. But there's not everyone that's afforded that, you know. And getting back to Skip, this is a man who dedicated himself at a very young age to the cause and has never deterred from that. Okay? Now, getting back to leadership skills, there's those that talk that rah-rah shit. They talk that big shit. And I think a lot of the prison mentality that disillusions gang members, street gang members, or people that first go in, is they have this superiority complex or this little man syndrome or this thing that I don't want to be told by another man what I have to do. Okay, look, in life, your bosses at Walmart's going to tell you ring that bell, bitch, right? At Taco Bell, they're going to tell you to fucking open the tortilla wider. At McDonald's, they're going to tell you flip the burger faster. There's always going to be someone in a position of authority to tell you what to do unless you work hard and strive in that job and become that man. And then you're going to be that man telling other people what to do. And now you got great responsibility. Now you're judged on how them people perform. And that's what it is. See, speaking on Skip, which I'm not really speaking on him. I'm just basically trying to give you guys an understanding of what I took from that video and what that black dude was saying was true, you know, and everything I've ever heard. Because again, man, I've never met Skip in real life. I always wanted to. Back when I was striving, I was a Norteño. That was one of my goals. Like, hey, I would like to shake the bicep of Skip, give him his respect for so much sacrifice and so much dedication to the cause. There's none other like him. Okay, when it comes to Norteños, it comes to anything up north in Northern California, there's no one comparable to Skip. There's other guys that have put in work, probably put in more work or whatever, but he holds the title of respect for up north, right? Now, with Skip, I heard that black dude talk about the pegada he did on Charlie O, right? And how they threw a birthday party or it was some type of party, and Skip basically rocked him to sleep and handled his business. Now, this can be considered by some as dry snitching, you know, when he did this video. And not saying the brother's doing that by telling that story exactly how it went down. But this is what people want to hear. They want to be entertained with the shenanigans that happen in prison, which is basically nobody's business, to be honest with you. And however they decided to do the movida, one thing I can say for sure is Skip led by example. And that's what I've always heard about him. He's not going to tell you to do anything. He'll show you how to do it and how to do it right. You know, and that takes, there's a lot of different elements for a person to do that. Some of us will never understand unless you've done a pegada, put a knife in someone. Not everyone could do that. Okay. Does it take heart? You could have heart, man. There's different ways of having heart. You could have the heart to do something or have a fucking sick mind to do it. Or you can have a heart and not want to do that because you care about other people. But when you truly believe, like Skip does, in something bigger than yourself, a greater movement, and really care for your gente and your people, and have decided, you know what? I'm willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to show my people that this is the correct way of doing it. To stand by our philosophies, to stand by our Constitution, to stand by our bonds, to stand by our program and our politics. And goes out there and does it. Now, Skip doesn't have to raise a finger. He's already put in enough work. He's already established his status and his notoriety within the prison system, no matter where he goes. This man's name precedes him. Everyone knows about him. And now that he's in the federal system, ADX, Colorado, that is the end of the road. That is where the who's who of who the fuck are they have been, right? And that's where you ultimately end up. I used to have dreams at night and think, damn, I used to think about being on death row and how it would feel to be on death row and look around and say, you know what? Damn, I made it. This is it. This is the end of the road. But the ADX is worse. The ADX, not everyone gets to go there. You have to be that one or considered one of them ones to go there. When I say one of them ones, those that know what I'm talking about know. Now, let's talk about Renegade Media for a second. You know, he does a lot of videos. Shout out to J-Hans. He's doing his thing, man. But he does a lot of videos talking about these prison organizations and shedding light and trying to help the youth and misdirecting them going that route. You know, my thing is, I understand where he's coming from. I understand that at the end of the day, I probably believe what he believes too, which is I'd rather see the youth having freedom and being able to have a family and live their life. But again, I'm not going to slander anyone to do that. People like Skip, other group organizations. I'm not going to call vatos tecatos or say they're misleading or misusing people. That's part of the gang lifestyle. Understand that. When you join a gang, you're in prison, you hit an organization, you achieve that level of status. It's a cutthroat situation. Everybody wants to be recognized as that one. So when I see J-Hands doing his videos, I understand he has a positive and a great message to the youth, but I understand that his delivery sometimes can be misperceived as someone who's disgruntled or someone who is trying to basically say, hey, these guys are all bad. I don't agree. I don't agree. Now, my thing is, yeah, we're all bad. We're born bad. We're born sinners, right? It's up to us to decide, as grown men or grown women, what means more to us. Proving to our gente and our people that we're there no matter what, or proving to our families and our children that we're there no matter what. That's a situation that you're going to have to decide. So, and the only reason I'm bringing this up, I was asked about J-Hands. Well, he talks about these guys. I've seen he done videos. Look, man, to each their own. That's his lane. Respectfully, I hope he does his thing. No shots here, no subliminals, no nothing. I don't fuck with him. He don't fuck with me, I guess. I heard from someone that he talks to, or he did talk to at one point, that he's not taking advice from Gunner for whatever reason. I guess he blew up. He don't need me no more. That's cool, man. No hate. But I'm just saying the direction of talking shit about everyone like everyone has bad intentions for their gente is not it, man. There's dudes that have made the ultimate sacrifice like Skip and so many others that want to see their people prosper, but understand that numbers and that sometimes, man, having to do pegadas and shit is part of the prison lifestyle. And hey, they say to kill is a cruel necessity, but if one does not kill, how can one conquer? And if one does not conquer, what future is there for their people? And I believe Skip is the walking embodiment of that. So when I see J-Hands do videos about guys being tecatos and guys just using the gente and all that, I don't believe there's truth to that. I believe there are dudes that do that, but I don't believe that's everybody, and you shouldn't be painting that picture. That's just me. Okay? Shout out to J-Hands. Keep doing your thing, brother. Respects. Just straight up how I feel. My perspective. Now, Skip, when I heard about him doing the Charlie O Pegada, what the black guy said, and it's a great video, by the way, man. That black dude was very detailed. I think I'm going to like his channel. I subscribed already. I'm going to watch and hear what he has to say. And he was smart enough to realize as a content creator, go straight to the big dog, man. Go straight to someone that everyone's intrigued about. And there's a lot of people that are intrigued with Skip's story. And maybe one of these days I'll do a whole spiel like I do, the Gunland shows that I do, man, and break it all the way down where Skip comes from, prior to his affiliation with any group. But then again, maybe I won't because I try to keep away from that topic. But I was asked to do this, so I'm going to do it. Now, Skip is notorious because he's more hands-on than a lot of these guys. See, a lot of people, I remember as a youngster, that was my dream. I was striving to be part of something bigger than myself. And my first step was getting involved in a gang. Now I was part of something. I had carnales, I had brothers with me that we were fighting for the same thing. We had the same enemies. We had a lot of common things going on, single parent homes or we just wanted to be around each other, something to do. We were bored, and that was the gang lifestyle for me. I was a kid, and then I caught my murder at a very young age, and I had to grow, and I had to become older and wiser fast. I never got to experience the going out and partying and the kicking it, and I went straight from 0 to 100. I went straight from getting involved in the gang, killing someone, and I'm gone, and got caught up. And then went and found the youth authority and started to get some structure in my life. Started to realize, hey, there's a lot of homies, not just in my gang, but from everywhere. And now I became more ingrained in the Norteño movement. It was all about the Norte and less about my barrio and my city. And I got out with that mentality, trying to educate homies on, nah, man, I'd see red on red happening, north side versus west side of Merced. And I was like, nah, those are homies. Because I was used to all homeboys are homies. We all stick together. And then I hit prison and that same mentality stuck. And I was striving and I got out and got involved, with the regiment at a different level. And now I thought I was striving. Okay, I'm taking the necessary steps. I've already established my name. I caught a fucking murder case. No one can deny these facts. I've never been in bad standings. I'm doing my thing, right? And then as time moved on, different things happen on different yards, and you start to get a different perception of things. And I ended up where I ended up. Did it hurt? Was I sad about it? Yeah, man. I remember looking in the mirror thinking, what am I doing? I didn't know how to not be a Norteño, you know? See, with Skip, he's never went through that. He dedicated himself and has always been in a position and put himself in the position to always be that one. You know, when you hear about these guys that get to those positions, a lot of them feel, hey, I've already achieved, put in the work. Now I can relax. Now it's vacation time. Now others have to show me what they're about. Skip's not that. He's never been that. He's hands-on. He's not going to tell his gente or put them in harm's way, hey, you guys got to get off with these vatos and I'll be over here busting a spread, homie. He's not going to do that. He's going to get off and show you, hey, step back, homie. Let me show you how we do this. And that right there is the reason why he has so much respect, no matter where he goes. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people from the other side that feel some type of way about him. How can this vato be so notorious? Look at him. He doesn't look like much. Don't judge a book by its cover, because there's a whole lot of reasons why he's in the position he's in. Now, I know you guys are going to say, and there's a lot of people that are going to say, no, but look, he's doing life. He'll never get out of prison. He's probably miserable. I'm sure there's times where he does sit back and say, fuck, bro. I wish I was out with my old lady, or I wish I could do this, or I wish I could do that. But people that have the mentality of Skip understand and have dedicated their life to something bigger than them and are willing to make every sacrifice so that their gente can move on for them. You know, a real gangster told me, straight up gangster, right? Comparable to Skip, told me, hey, bro, he was doing life. He was a lifer. I was in the oil talking to him, and he was always in the oil, man, always in the mix, doing pegadas, just doing shit. And I was like, what's up, bro? Like, don't you feel like sometimes you want to get out, homie? We were just having a personal conversation. And he was like, bro, I want you to get out, bro. I'm already here. I'm going to hold it down for us here. I'm with the homies. This is it, homies. I've sacrificed my life. To some people that seems frivolous. To some people they're like, wow, how can you do it? They'll never understand that I do this for my gente. I have done what I do and I continue to do what I do so that way you can see the error of my ways, bro. So with Skip, he's always struck me as the same type of person. Ultimate leadership skills, because albeit it's criminality, it's not good to kill other people and hurt other people. And I'm not trying to promote or glorify that and say, oh, Skip's the one because he does that. Because ultimately, man, you don't want to glorify violence, but he definitely has gained a level of respect because, you know, no matter what anyone says, he's a person that'll do what he says, get off where he's mad at, you know, and he's looking out for his own people. You know, I've seen these things that were put on TikTok or social media where it's little sayings by Skip and things. And I've always, even now that I'm not active and I'm not involved in that, I still listen to the man and respect because I understand what he's going through, and not even ultimately what he's going through because I've never done life and I'm never going home, but I listen to the jewels he drops and I remember that was the old school mentality. That's what brought me in the mix. That was the real beliefs from a real OG. So when I seen this black dude do this video, I was kind of 50-50 on it. You know, like, damn, he's talking about some incidences that up until this point have never been put out there. And I don't even know if Skip would like shit to be put out there. But at the same time, man, he did justice. He kept it real. And I like his channel, man. So go tap in. I don't know the brother's channel right off the top of my head. He did time in the feds. And again, the feds, the system in the feds is much different from the state. So coming from a Fed perspective, he can give it to you, man. And I'm glad to see brothers, man, unbiased. Just like when I see Mexicans unbiased, man, because I've been seeing lately a lot of the black and brown disputes on YouTube. Oh man, we have it harder, we're harder, this, that. And it all comes from a racial point, or it all comes to a racial point where people like try to be better than each other. It's good to see a brother speak on something Mexican and do it justice. And you don't hear none of the Mexicans saying, oh, don't speak on Mexican business. Do your thing, brother. You know, do your thing, man. It was a great show. With that being said, that's my perspective on it, man. When it comes to Skip, man, I'll always forever respect him. Not out of fear, but out of ultimate respect, just because he's a true gangster. He is what I was striving to be. He is the reason why I got involved in what I got involved in. And I didn't make the cut, man. And I'm not hurt by it. You know, it just is what it is. But I truly believe someone with that much dedication to a cause should be respected at every level. And that's it. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. There was no disrespect intended. Shout out to everybody. The Gun.